I'm going to take you on a slightly rambly and possibly unexpected mind journey.
Oh my god, what am I doing?
Hi, welcome to Just Thinking Out Loud. My name is Desi-Rae. The other day, a couple weeks ago, I went into Michael's, the arts and crafts store, in order to buy myself some art supplies and also a planner for 2020, which I'm really excited about. I wasn't going to show anyone this. This will give you some insight into my personality. So I got myself this planner. You can't really see it. It's too bright. Crap. If I angle it, you can kind of see it. That I'm really excited about. And I also got myself a sticker book that I'm also really excited about, because my old planner was like a really boring little black book, and I had that planner for about 5 years, or variations of it each year. I'm going to show it to you. So boring, right? And this star on there was just because I put a sticker on there to try and make it a little better. But I've had some variation of this planner for about 5 years now. I like it because it's super small. Wow, it sounds like I'm doing a product review, and I'm probably going to just delete this from the video. But it's a new year and I can start using my new planner right now, so I'm really excited about it. And that was the other thing that I got from Michael's. But I actually primarily went there to get myself art supplies because, as some of you may know, I do paint, and I haven't in a while, but I'm starting it up again. I'll probably direct you to my other channel soon. And that was a huge tangent. I went a bit too far, so I'm not going to burden you with having to listen to me excitedly talk about planners, because that's what it was all about. Anyway, the other day, 2 weeks ago, I went to Michael's, the art and crafts supply store, to buy myself some art supplies, some paints to be particular, in order to finish a painting for someone. While I was on my way there, I think I must have been in the parking lot, I'm not quite sure, I remembered this particular memory of being a child in the back seats of the car with my parents in front, and I was on the right hand side. I don't remember which car it was, and we were on our way to Portmore, and I think we were going to see someone called an Aunt May or Maybell. I asked my parents recently about it, and they told me who it might have been, and it was the wrong location, but that's the memory in my head, which is mostly true, but a little bit through the eyes of someone who didn't really understand the world, as you will see. I was on the right hand side, and I remember my eyes didn't quite reach over the car window, and I heard my mother telling my father to watch out for the sleeping policeman. And I remember looking on the road as they were passing by, trying to find a sleeping policeman. I expected to see like black pants with blue stripes on them, which is what the policeman would have been wearing in Jamaica at that time. And of course, I didn't find any, but that memory always stuck with me because I didn't actually ask my parents, where is the sleeping policeman? I remember thinking it in my head and being like, what are they talking about? I don't see a sleeping policeman. I want to see a sleeping policeman. I even had the vision of a man laying on the ground with his cap, like his hat over his head to hide it from the sun. That would have been completely inappropriate. But I remember thinking about that and then later realizing what sleeping policemen were. And that memory is one of my favorite memories. I've never forgotten it. It's also the same memory I have of going to this aunt's house and being very bored with the conversation my parents were having with this aunt who I don't remember very much at all. It was a very small house with trinkets everywhere. I remember she had these like kind of sheer pink curtains, which I probably would have thought were gaudy now when I'm older, but I didn't think about that much at all. It was just this new atmosphere, and I was being a busybody. Holy shit, I think this probably has an echo. Actually, it was just fine. So I was being a busybody and touching things that I shouldn't have been touching, which got me in some serious SHIT later because I found a little bottle of super glue, and I can't remember which hand it was, but I glued my fingers together and I couldn't get them unstuck. And I remember the feeling of panic because I couldn't tell my parents what I had done because I knew I shouldn't have been touching other people's things. But I thought my fingers would never come apart. I thought that they would have to like cut it off, and I was like, you know, like trying to get it out, get them to pull it apart, and I eventually did it. But I just remember this feeling of knowing that I was the only one in the world who could solve this problem for myself because I was doing something that I shouldn't have been doing. So that's the same day that happened as well. I was talking about sleeping policemen because I don't hear that word anymore when I'm in the US. They call them speed bumps over here. This is kind of an experience I want to share because it was so funny and it's one of my favorite memories. I thought maybe I could talk about the evolution of the speed bump, and there's actually a bit of controversy over this seemingly benign, what I thought was benign thing. People have even allegedly died because of the speed bump, or the speed hump, sleeping policemen, or road bumps, or traffic thresholds, speed breakers, or speed cushions, speed tables, and they're all a form of traffic calming. I knew none of this before deciding to look into this topic. So that's what this video is about. Of course, I realized what should have been obvious, that the term sleeping policeman is a holdover from what the British call it, and apparently the British call it that, other Caribbean islands call it that, and there's another term, a lying down policeman, which is the same thing. And I wonder how many other children out there have heard some adult use this term and just thought about the words literal meaning in their heads and looked around for a sleeping policeman like I did. They're called a judder bar in New Zealand English, and I have no idea what that means. The first occurrence of a speed bump being implemented, known occurrence that's written down, was in about 1906 in Chatham, New Jersey, where there were new motor cars that people who drove horse carriages and the residents of a village weren't very happy with them speeding through the town at like 15 to 20 miles per hour. And so they decided to raise their crosswalks up to 5 inches off the road, and people were very happy about it. And that was the first successful implementation. That was in the United States. And then the first modern speed bump design was done in 1953 by a Nobel Prize winner named Arthur Holly Compton. This is what I imagine him looking like. But this is what he actually looks like. I mean, the person on the left, the person on the right isn't important at all. He was a Nobel Prize winning physicist, to be exact, and I found a little diagram of the first drawings of what a speed bump would look like. And then in Europe, the first implementation, written down at least, was in 1970 in the Netherlands in the 1970s, and then they didn't hit the UK until the 1980s. So that's when they first started showing up. There were bumps on the road before, but those didn't have to do with slowing down speed because we didn't have vehicles that could even travel that fast at the time. So that's the first thing that I learned. Other things that I learned were that there are actually different variations of speed bumps. What people call speed bump usually combines speed bumps, speed humps, speed cushions, and speed tables. For the speed hump, has like different kinds of curves. There are 4 different kinds. I found a picture of ones that go diagonal and then straight. There are ones that are called sinusoidal, where they have a slow rise, kind of like a cuboid, I think, function on a graph. Sorry, cubic function on a graph. And then there's also one that has like a semicircle kind of curve. I forget the exact names, but I found a diagram and I'll put it up there, and I'll also put links because you want to know everything there is to know about speed bumps, I'm sure. A lot of people do want to know, actually, because there's been some controversy over them. There are some issues such as more pollution, noise pollution, and the emission of gases from vehicles. Because when a vehicle decides to slow down in a residential area, that means it makes more noise for the residents around. Also, it's not great for emergency vehicles that are driving very fast, and then also for other kinds of users of the road, such as cyclists or motorcycles, and that's why they sometimes have a gap in the middle. That's the first time I heard about why there's actually a gap in between. I never thought about other users of the road, like people who drive bicycles before then. Apart from speed humps, the speed tables, they don't have the curve. They just take up more of the road. There are also dynamic speed bumps that rely on sensors either on the road to tell when a car is approaching at a speed that's way higher than the speed limit, and then also ones that have sensors on the speed bump itself, radars that are on the speed bumps themselves, and then there are ones that use pressure valve releases so that if a car is coming at the right weight and at the right speed, then it will go down, but if it's going too fast, then it will remain in place. So it will go down immediately as the wheel is going over it. So there have been many developments of speed bumps over the years, and in the UK, apparently, there are lots of residents got some speed bumps to be removed at super high cost. I don't remember the exact number because they were fed up with the issues with them. Other issues also have to do with potential spinal injury if you're going too fast. There are estimates that the increase in fuel consumption, if you talk about all cars, come to more than 15 tons per year of fuel wasted at a single speed bump. Also, the narrower speed bumps are actually less effective at slowing down traffic than the slower sloping in their rise speed bumps, than the slower but wider speed humps that have the different kinds of slopes I mentioned before. Also, the speed at which you go over speed bumps when they're the speed bumps and not speed humps is about 5 to 10 miles per hour, but for speed humps, it's a little faster at 15 to 20 miles per hour, the range. Yeah, so there's a lot going on with these things called speed bumps. They apparently do actually calm traffic. I like that term. There are companies out there that sell them. They're made from the asphalt itself, or it can be made from plastic or rubber, depending on the kind. There are motorized parts, like with the dynamic speed bump. So there's a lot going on here, and I just learned that much about this topic that you may have been interested in because I just wanted to share that memory of mine and also maybe tie it into doing some research on the topic that I didn't really know much about beforehand. So now that's all you ever really needed to know about speed bumps. Thanks for watching. Bye. Also, Happy New Year. As if this video couldn't get any longer, I just want to let you know, well, longer and more rambly. I just want to let you know that JTL is no longer 100% fan funded because I turned back on my YouTube ads. I'm worried that not having ads on means that YouTube won't promote my videos. I already think YouTube doesn't promote my videos for a long time, and that really sucks. And I only did this, I think, mid June last year. And so that's how long I haven't had it on. Well, that's like only 6 months because I really wanted to not bother with YouTube because the kind of money I got wasn't worth it. But I just put it back on because I get demonetized. I just put it back on to make sure that I'm not hurting my channel's promotion, if that makes any difference at all. Anyhow, since I'm talking about donations, please consider donating. justthinkingOutloud.tv/donate. And Happy New Year. Hope you guys enjoyed my video. I was trying to have some fun with this channel. Let me know what you think. Bye.